Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast with me, Cossy and Glenn. This time already in the house. We're gonna be discussing the two done deals and Conte. It should be Cossy and Glenn episode 156. You know, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm happy to be back again. 156 episodes, as you say, but how many of those times have we won a game? Maybe twice out of the 156 episodes. So we need to start winning games. Hopefully it starts this weekend, and I'm happy to be back with the Cossy family.
Yeah, obviously. We're going to be speaking on Martin Odegaard, Aaron Ramsdale, and Antonio Conte. Those are I think in the week, that is what has been trending. We shall speak about Houssem Aouar as well. I think many Arsenal fans have finally, got back in love with Aouar. I remember many people telling me, you know what, Cossy, Aouar, it's off. We don't want Aouar. You guys, were suggesting names like Renato, names like Bissouma, and finally, somehow you're back in love with Houssem Aouar. So we're gonna be discussing that with Glenn. Obviously, Glenn's channel link is in the video description. Make sure you do check it, check him out. I did a show with him, and I'm going to be pinning it on my community very, very soon. So make sure you do check it out as well. So let's begin off with Aaron Ramsdale, Glenn, because I think it's the hottest topic. Aaron Ramsdale is very close to sign for Arsenal. It's going to be around 24 million, initially, and then it will extend up to 28 million if he plays, a certain amount of games, and if he also plays a certain amount of games in the Europe, in Europe. So literally, I don't understand the deal, but we shall get into that, at the later stages. The 28 million pounds to buy a goalkeeper from Arsenal. What is your reaction? What do you think about that? 28 million to buy a goalkeeper.
First of all, that suggests to me that is not a backup goalkeeper. A backup goalkeeper usually comes at the price of someone like a Ranasson. Because Ranasson, how much was Ranasson?
Like 1M. Like 1M.
Exactly, and you actually get what you pay for. I think that is too cheap for a goalkeeper. I think that is like a fourth choice goalkeeper. But a backup goalkeeper would be like 10 million, I'd say 12 million. Oh yeah, the bigger teams do buy backup goalkeepers for even 50 million, I get. The Man Cities and Barcelonas of this world. But that suggests to me it's going to actually give Leno competition. Now, I understand, obviously, I've had a lot of people saying, why did we sell Martinez and buy this other guy, unfortunately? So for me, sorry, I can hear. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, very well.
Awesome. So I always hear people say, Martinez, why is he sold and this other guy bought? Now, Martinez didn't want to stay at Arsenal. Let's be honest. Martinez did not want to stay at Arsenal, or he wanted to be first choice goalkeeper, and we had to get rid of him. And Martinez was at Arsenal for 10 years, if you don't know, and he was only good for the last 5 months. So yeah, let's think about it in a broader way, though. So for this guy signing for us, from Sheffield, I know he's been relegated a couple of times, but that is not his fault, as you said early on. If Ramsdale was the reason why these teams got relegated, then he's a really bad goalkeeper, because you really have to be very, very bad for a team to be relegated because of you. That means you make like 10 to 20 mistakes in a season for them to get relegated. So for me, I'd have preferred other goalkeepers, not Onana. I didn't want Onana because he'd only be available for like 2 months. I'd prefer someone like a Johnston from West Brom. That is the guy I would have preferred. But Ramsdale is younger. He has more years, and that is what I've loved about this transfer window so far. Yes, we've not bought the kind of players we wanted, but the players we've bought so far are the players who are going to help us in future as well. So it's not like a one-year deal. Like signing Willian now, there's no one else who wants him because he's about to be 40 years of age. There's no one who wants him. We are stuck with him. Same with the likes of maybe even Lacazette in a couple of years, he'll be 30-something, stuck with him. Cossy and all those players, we are stuck with them. So with Ramsdale, just like Tavares and Lokonga, if it doesn't work out in the next 2 years, maybe we can also get rid of him and get at least 20 million as well, 25 million maybe. If he becomes a superstar, maybe a team like City would come for him and pay 50 million for him or something. So it's an okay deal, I'd say. Not the best goalkeeper I wanted to be a backup, but I think he'll come and provide more than just a backup goalkeeper and actually provide competition. And I don't like comparing him to just like talking about him and just talking about relegation. I know he got relegated to Sheffield, but hey, he can do the job. He's a good goalkeeper. I've seen his saves. Maybe not the kind of goalkeeper I would have wanted in terms of kicking and playing from the back. He's just there to save the ball and clear the ball. So we have to use him to his advantages.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of stick on social media, Twitter. Look, I'm not a big fan of Facebook, so I cannot really speak for Facebook on how toxic they are. I don't know how toxic they are, but on Twitter, Twitter is a loving platform and a very toxic platform as well. So he's received a lot of stick on Twitter, to an extent that David Seaman came out and said, you know what, Ramsdale is almost in the same position I was in 1990 when I signed for Arsenal. I was England's third choice goalkeeper in 1990. And when I signed for Arsenal, no one wanted me. Everyone said, kick him out. We don't want you. You're not welcome. Arsenal. You'll never play for Arsenal and things like that. And then David Seaman actually became one of Arsenal's greatest legends. David Ornstein has been speaking about it today and said he doesn't understand why many Arsenal fans are actually giving the player a lot of stick, a lot of negativity. He doesn't get it. And personally, I think the stick, the magnitude of the stick is uncalled for. Yes, you might not want a player, but going out to try to justify the fact that you don't want him yet you don't have upright reasons is, for me, it's ridiculous. But do you think maybe the stick is justified? Do you think maybe Arsenal fans really are right about Ramsdale? Do you think he's not the Arsenal quality and he will never be the Arsenal standard?
No, I don't think you can judge someone like that before even played. I don't like seeing people abusing a new signing before even plays. Support him while he's here. He's better than a Runarsson kind of signing, because I've said signing a goalkeeper for 1 million is not enough. For 20-something million, you usually get what you pay for. So it'd probably help us 7 out of the 10 times, at least 7 out of 10 times. If he does the job like that, I'm okay with that. But judging him before he even plays, I don't think it's fair to him. And he's young. He has time to improve. As I said, goalkeepers, they usually reach their peak like at 28. So he has a lot of years. He has a lot of years to improve on the kicking, to improve on a couple of saves. So I don't think it's fair enough to judge him like that. I know people expect us to sign like an Alisson, Van der Sar, Buffon, such kind of goalkeepers and legends of clubs and already stuff like that. But hey, we've changed our approach in the transfer market. And another thing I've liked is usually in the transfer market, the last 5 years, I felt like we've been bullied. I remember giving Juventus Ramsey on a free. And then the next season, they were actually talking about us buying him. We had just given him on a free 5 months early. And then they were actually bullying us like, you'll have to pay 25 million for Ramsey. Stuff like that, having to pay even maybe 50 million for Ben White is too much. Sometimes none of our players get money. Like Chelsea can get 30 million for Tomori and get 40 million for Abraham, and we can't get any kind of money for the likes of Jacques and Bellerin. So I usually feel like we're bullied in the transfer window. What I've liked about the Ramsdale deal is I think we are hearing about 40 million pounds 1 month ago. Like they want 40 million pounds. So I think Arsenal just told them, you know what, we are not going to pay 40 million. We are done. We're going to look for another goalkeeper. And actually, we actually bullied Sheffield United, and maybe they came back to us and told us, you know what, we'll take 25 million or 24 million or something like that. And if it becomes your first choice, we'll take 28 to 30 million. So I think in approaching the deal, we've done a good job. That is what I want to see more. Don't get bullied in the transfer window, because usually if you tell Arsenal to pay 50 million, they'll just pay it without making any negotiations and stuff. I wish they'd have paid 70 for Maddison without making any negotiations, but hey, yeah, you get the point. We usually get bullied in the transfer market, but in this deal, I think we've done well.
Yeah, absolutely. I also think, the price was at first so ridiculous, 40 mil, and I think that is where many Arsenal fans got angry. 40 million for Aaron Ramsdale, relegated 3 times, and they're trying to compare his statistics and the money. no one looked at his potential, honestly. I think many people eventually, after Arsenal agreeing a deal, that's when many people, especially Arsenal fans, are actually starting to look at, looking at his potential, what he can do, how good is he as a goalkeeper. But, back in the days, everyone was just comparing his statistics, as a relegated goalkeeper 3 times, and the 40 million, and it really didn't make a lot of sense. So Aaron Ramsdale, guys, will be coming in as the backup goalkeeper to ban Leno, but also a goalkeeper that could actually replace Leno in the future to become our number 1 goalkeeper. Whether he can become our first choice goalkeeper or not, that question remains to be answered. As well, speaking about stick and Arsenal fans being really not grateful with signings, is Martin Odegaard. Now, Martin Odegaard is suffering from one problem, and that is the comparison bias. Many Arsenal fans are comparing him to James Maddison because it was one or the other. It was either James Maddison or Martin Odegaard. Both of us on the show have said it before that we would love to have James Maddison because he brings that that dynamism in the team, the impact and that great kind of performance that you would want to see as a big club. However, we never had the money to pay for James Maddison. We know that. We never had the 70 million to put at the table. And we eventually went for someone who's a little bit younger and he's been here with us and cheaper. Martin Odegaard. Now, let me start with this, Glenn. Many Arsenal fans feeling, Odegaard is just a recycle and nothing important to really be excited about. Do you think, that is right?
Now, let me go to the negative part first. I understand why you'd have been disappointed because personally I also wanted Maddison. I think Maddison would be a statement signing. I think with Man City, United, Chelsea, looking at Arsenal, if you had signed Maddison, they'd be like, you know what? Arsenal are trying to come back. I don't think they'd feel that way with us signing the likes of Tavares and Odegaard, unfortunately. And Odegaard, it's like, Maddison is like a plate of pilau, like rice with spices, but like Odegaard is just rice plain, unfortunately. Obviously, he can improve. And as Robbie said earlier on FTV, it's like a Christmas gift. It's like we've been gifted the same Christmas gift 2 Christmases in a row, like in January and now. We already know what gift you're going to get, and that is the same gift you've been bought for by our friends, the same gift. Obviously, you'd prefer a different gift, and Maddison would have been a different gift to open. So Odegaard as a gift, we are opening something you already have seen before. We already knew what the gift was, and we are opening it again. I don't like the stick though. I think he definitely improved our team last season. He wasn't here. I know people say I had Jamie O'Hara, the former Tottenham player, on TalkSport saying, well, what is he going to do? He was here last season. Aubameyang was last season. This one was here last season. Odegaard wasn't there when we were losing games in October, November, December. He wasn't. He came later on February, and I think while he was there, maybe he lost like 1 game or 2 games, Liverpool and some other team. Most of them we won. A game like West Ham, I'll never forget the kind of impact he had against West Ham away. He changed that game. I don't think Chambers has had a better game than that one. I think Chambers is one player who really enjoyed playing with Odegaard. Odegaard made Chambers look like Cafu, like prime AC Milan Cafu, like Maicon. That day, I could not believe at the kind of crosses Chambers was putting in. And it was because Odegaard was not picking the easier decisions. I saw against Brentford, there's a time Xhaka had the ball on the left side and Tierney was bombing down the left, and Martinelli and Balogun were trying to like run across the central defenders for a through pass. Xhaka did not attempt those passes. He decided to go for the easy one, maybe just pass it to Tierney so that he can put in a cross. If it was Odegaard or an Ozil, as many people still love Ozil, you'd have picked out that pass to Martinelli, a through pass, putting him one-on-one against the goalkeeper, and it would have been a better thing. So I think Odegaard coming into that position is better. I also looked at our squad against Brentford. I know Aubameyang and Lacazette were missing, Partey, Gabriel, but we looked very weak, man. There is no way, even my home team, even your home team, there is no way I'd be scared of Arsenal if they're coming to play us with Balogun. Lokonga would not be scared at all. So I think Odegaard, even if he's going to be on the bench or starting, at least if Odegaard starts and then you look at the bench and you like have Lacazette, you have Smith Rowe, that is a bit more optimistic. It can be a bit more optimistic than last week. Last week he had a very, very poor bench. So I think it's going to add to. It's not like Maddison, but it's better than what we have or what we don't have, because we have nothing in that position. So I think it's still an improvement on what you have. Obviously, I would have preferred Maddison, 70 million, but getting him on 30 million, that is what has made me happy. Odegaard, just like Ramsdale, they had talked about 50 million. Now, I wouldn't have paid 50 million, but 30 million sounds okay. And no add-ons, nothing like add-ons on this deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, those two signings are, do represent something that I think many Arsenal fans are not ready to accept at the moment, and I think many of them won't accept it at the moment, and that is the project the future. I'll call it project the future, because if you look at all the signings we have made and all the players that are coming in, it looks like they're 23 years and below. 23 years and below. It's more like Arsenal is preparing themselves, for the future, trying to create something for the next 3 years, next 4 years. A group of players that grows together, builds itself together, build a structure of young players, develop it, and maybe in the future you just have to buy one or two players, fit them into the team. And get the ball rolling. But I don't think Arsenal fans are ready for this. First and foremost, are you happy with the strategy we have decided to take? Because back for the past two summers, our strategy was buying at least one expensive signing. It's bringing Partey, and then before that, bringing Pepe, and it looked like it was a little bit slow. What we've done is we've spent 129 million on 5 youngsters that are for the future, though, right? So, do you think it's a good project? Do you think it's the right approach? Maybe
it's a good project in terms of the sell-on and stuff. If, as I said, if a player doesn't work out for a player, we can get to sell him and make a profit in the future, rather than having players like Willian and Czech. I can't believe we signed these players. These players were actually, they literally had like 1 year or 2 years remaining on their legs, and we signed them. Like right now, as I say, there's no one who will sign Willian. There is no one who will sign Willian even for a free deal. Czech, literally retired after Arsenal. Luis, he's still looking for a team.
Come on.
Oh my goodness. Lichtsteiner did not know. Those are bad memories. Lichtsteiner was slow. End of his career, has won everything. He does not care about football. He's just there to see how London is, just to enjoy the London life. He's been in Italy his whole life. So I think that approach is okay in terms of maybe in the future, if you want to sell them, it can work. People can still be interested in them. And but I think you still need a balance, though. I think right now, I think those are enough now in terms of youngsters. I don't think you can afford to get another couple of youngsters. All those that you signed, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Tierney. Just keep in mind, Tierney is also below 24. So many of our players are below 24, 23. Our average age against Brentford, we did not have one player who was above 30. That is unheard of. Like every single team usually has at least one player who's above 30. Our team had 19-year-olds, 20, 18. That is dangerous, because with that kind of age, there is no chance for you to get a top 4 finish. Like you have to balance it out. Somehow Lampard managed to get top 4 with Chelsea, with the Mounts and Abrams when they were very young, but he had a bit of experience in the team. A couple of players were still there.
Did you know were there?
Yes, Piliqueta, Alonso, those kind of players were there. So maybe that is why he decided to keep Xhaka. Partey has to be fit, Aubameyang or Lacazette, one of them has to stay, because you can't sell all of them and just keep the youngsters, because you have to balance it out. So there has to be some players with experience in the team. So I'm okay with the approach. I prefer that instead of signing 35-year-olds and 36-year-olds. I definitely prefer that approach. And but as I said, no more youngsters. Those are enough for now. No more.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a good approach. I understand. And slowly, I'm one of those people, because I think basically because I become a content creator in the past 2 years, and I do understand where Arsenal are going. and why they would love Mikel to be a part of this, a part of this, growing team of young players. But do we need the time? I mean, do we have the time? Do we have the patience to sit back and watch these talents grow, and develop into a project, whatever kind of project it's gonna be? Do we have the patience? Do we have the time as Arsenal fans?
That is the problem. That is why I cannot judge anyone who's not being patient to these players that you're signing. We've been patient for long. We've not won the league for 17 years. Most of us were very young when Arsenal was winning the league. Most of us had not even started supporting Arsenal then. So 17 years is a long time to be. It's almost 20 years since we won the league. 20. Before you know it, it's 25. Before you know it, it's 50 years. Cossy has been a content creator for 70 years and still haven't won the title. Yeah, I mean, how patient can you be? How patient can you be? So for me, I do understand why some fans are not happy and not patient, because we've been patient for too long. And the truth is, Arsenal always take too much time to decide on the approach and to make the transfers. I mean, for example, if we had Aubameyang in the 2016, when we had Ozil and Sanchez, we would have definitely won the league. If Aubameyang was there with Sanchez and Ozil, he would have definitely won the league. Those chances Giroud was missing, Aubameyang would have scored most of them. I know Tierney was young, but if Tierney, we had a left back like Tierney playing instead of Gibbs when we had the likes of Cazorla and those kind of players, Fabregas, you would have maybe even won the league as well. So Arsenal always take time. Today we have a good goalkeeper, and then we don't have a good striker. And then when we get a good striker, there's no creative midfield. And then by the time we get a creative midfielder, Aubameyang is already retiring or his goals have dried up. By the time we're signing a good defender, the defender who's playing next to him has already left Arsenal. So they need to be fast, because you saw what Chelsea did. Chelsea changed the entire team within one season. Havertz, Werner, Champions League right there, and then Thiago Silva, everyone within one season. So I think the approach needs to be faster, because, for example, now Willian and Kolasinac have been here for too long. We've had 3 months to get rid of them. Just make up your mind, cancel their contract or something. So we take too much time, and that's why Arsenal fans lose patience. And I understand why. I definitely understand why. I won't judge anyone for not being happy for the transfers and stuff. So let's hope it doesn't take much longer than this season, because where I feel bad for Arteta is that you can build out this team and buy the players, but will he be here to see the success of the likes of Saka? That's why I'm scared.
I mean, that's interesting as well. That would be very interesting as well, because we probably will talk about that. But it looks like when we had the project Emirates Stadium, building the stadium and things. I've looked at a couple of statistics and books and videos saying Arsenal's downfall was the Emirates Stadium, and they really tried to explain how the Emirates Stadium became our own downfall. Arsenal resorting to Arsene Wenger, building these small young talents, and things like that. Do you think we are going back, to those days when we developed the likes of Alexander Song-Belong and then eventually sold them off? Because with the Cronkies at the top, it's no surprise if we sold Saka. It's no surprise if we sold Lokonga next year or 2 years from now. It won't be surprised if we sold Martinelli, because it's become great. Do you think we're going back there, or you think maybe this is something for the fans, build the team that's gonna win them trophies and give them the football they want?
Wenger was a really good businessman. He knew how to get someone for 1 million and sell them for 40 million. I'm hoping we are not building players to sell them. I'm hoping we're building players to bring success back to Arsenal and for the first time to the Emirates Stadium, because back then we used to get those kind of players, yes, and it actually did work out. I know people say Emirates has never been great, but I think it's been okay for 65% of the time. 2007, 2008, we were almost winning the title when we had the likes of Adebayo and Van Persie. We were always in and around. We had good home records. There's a time we finished, I think, there's at least 2 seasons we finished unbeaten at home at the Emirates, or sometimes just losing 1 game. So it hasn't been a disaster. It has been a disaster the last 5 years, obviously. but not before that. I think between 2007, 8, 2011, I think we were okay. We were beating the Barcelonas, all those teams at the Emirates. We were winning those kind of games at the Emirates. AC Milan, I remember beating them 3-0. So I don't think the stadium is the problem. In terms of going back to those days, I'm hoping we are creating players to win trophies, not to sell. Yes, you can make profits. I mean, in 2 years, if you ask me 70 million for Martinelli, I'd probably take it because that is a profit. That is a huge profit for the team, and you can build it because Liverpool sold Coutinho and they've been better since. Chelsea sold Hazard and they've won a Champions League since. So selling these players does not mean you're going to totally collapse. You have to know how to buy players though, because Tottenham have sold Eriksen, Modric, Bale, but they've never improved. They actually became worse a bit because the players that they bought are not good enough. So if you're signing players like, but creating players like Fabregas, because Fabregas, I'd still consider him like an Arsenal legend up there, maybe not in the top 15 there, but he's there because we still remember him. Everyone in the chat will probably remember Fabregas because he was good at Arsenal. So how many would remember Frimpong? I don't think there's many who'd remember. So Fabregas would remember because we created him. He came from the team. He became a captain of the team. He led us. He went on to win other trophies. So I'm hoping we can do that the same with these players that we have. And that's why we've been giving them new contracts, the likes of Smith Rowe, the likes of Odegaard. So I'm just hoping it works out for them. And Arteta, in terms of Arteta, I don't know if he's going to be here to see that because Lampard as well. Lampard created a few players like Mounts and Abrams, and then he was not there to see the success. So that could be the unfaithful end for him, for Arteta, but I'm hoping he actually improves immediately and the results start working out for him immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it works out as well. I really hope it works out because if it doesn't, I don't know where we're going from here. If it doesn't, and you have a bunch of young kids that turn into Deadwood now, I don't know where I don't know where we go from there. Absolutely don't know. With an owner that doesn't want to spend, because having these kids is like having an overall. So if you have a complete squad overall, and then you have a bunch of kids that become Deadwood, so you have to go for another squad overall. Kroenke could just could run. Maybe Kroenke may run, but just away from that, Antonio Conte has also been linked with Arsenal very closely, obviously because we lost against Brentford. That's the biggest question. That's the biggest reason. But I want us to discuss Conte in the perspective. Would he clean the house? Do you think Antonio Conte would be that manager that actually, cleans Arsenal?
He would. Now, it depends on what you want. Let us know in the comment section, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer a manager who's just going to come in 1 year, like Chelsea, win you 2 trophies and go, and you start searching for a new manager? Or do you prefer someone who comes to build the team for 3 or 4 years? Because as Arsenal fans, we've been used to managers staying, and we got used to Wenger staying. So even changing managers after 1 year, after 2 years, it became unthinkable for us. Even the shock was still there when Emre came in, when Arteta came in. We still couldn't believe we were changing managers that fast. So let us know which one you prefer. Because with Conte, if Conte joins Arsenal, he will not be here for more than 1.5 years. I am guaranteeing you that. He'd be here for 1 full season and another half, and then go. He'll probably win us a trophy somewhere, but go. So with Conte, he'll be here for less than 2 years. So if you want instant success, then maybe. But if he comes to Arsenal with those kind of players, Cossy, I'm sure he'll just enter the Arsenal training ground and see Bellerin can't give a pass. He'll look on the left, Chambers cannot stay fit. He'll look on this other side, Niles is still arguing about which position he's playing. He's going to sell a lot of players in the team. Even maybe some of players that we actually do love or maybe do like. He'll sell a lot of players. He'll bring in a couple of Italian players. Yes, he might end up winning a trophy, but all the players that you love, he might join and say, "Don't like Saka. Let's sell him." Would you be happy if Conte joins, sells Saka, but wins us the FA Cup and maybe we finish number 2 in the Premier League, and then after 2 years, Conte is gone and Saka is gone? Would you be happy with that? I'm not sure, because Conte is coming with his players. He's coming with his managerial team. All these Matasakas, they're all gone. When Conte is coming, all of them are gone. This guy could even change our stadium if he had the capability to have changed our stadium from the Emirates to another one for even one season. So I think Conte will definitely improve us. He's a more experienced coach. He won the league for Inter Milan after many years. Juventus were winning it every season. He won the league for Chelsea. He had the likes of Batshuayi in the team as well. So I think obviously he's a better manager. There's no doubting that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd take Conte. I don't know if I'm hungry for instant success, like let's win the league next season. I don't know. I know it just depends which kind of fan you are. Do you want instant success, or do you want your team to build? I know we really want to get back to the Champions League. We really want to win the league. So if you can guarantee me Conte will be here for 3 years, I'd take him.
You know with that Antonio Conte, and just like a few other managers, that's their problem. Is at times they are destructive. They could spoil a project, get a few shortcuts, win something, and then you feel like we are back at the top. And I see this happening with Inter Milan, because with Inter, what's going to happen is they're not going to look like champions anymore. They won't.
Yeah.
The moment they told him we are going to lose Romelu Lukaku and Hakimi to deal with our financial problems, he was like, I'm out of it. I'm not going to be part of this, and that is what I'm really afraid of. But speaking from from a perspective where you're looking at looking at at football, a footballing identity, a style of play, probably build confidence in the squad and give them that mentality. Probably, do you think he is that manager?
Well, to change the mentality, he'll definitely change the mentality, maybe even Kroenke's mentality, because that guy's not coming to joke around. That's why he didn't go to Tottenham. He was like, are you going to give me 200 million to sign players? Because me, these Tangangas, these Dyers, I do not like them. I want my own players. So he might change the mentality. You might see a style of play immediately. You already know Conte is coming to play a back five. He's going to come and play a back five. Maybe we'll see Gabriel, Holding, and White together in the team. We might get an identity, but for how long? You might get an identity for 1 year. And remember, if he comes to your team for that 1 year, 1.5 years, yes, he might join. And then if he doesn't win a trophy and then leaves, you're back to getting stranded again. Inter Milan won the trophy. Yeah, they're happy with the trophy, but I don't even think they'll finish in the top 3 this season, because now everything is broken down. Their main strikers left, their coaches left. So Conte, I don't think Arteta would leave Arsenal. You get? I don't think Arsene Wenger would have left Arsenal. I don't think Emery would have left Arsenal. I don't think Arteta would ever say, you know what, I'm done. I need to go. Now, Conte, he can come for half a season, and if he's not happy, he'll just say, you know what, I'm done. And he starts searching for a new manager in the middle of the season. So that's what scares me about these big managers like Mourinho and Emery. And you cannot tell him anything, by the way. These guys are bigger than the owners in the team. Like, they do not joke around. If he says he's gone, unless you give him 200 million. So it's usually very scary to get this kind of managers. You can be here for 3 months and then he's tired and then gone. So if you're trying to build a project and trying to keep players like Tierney in the team, create a relationship with the manager, then you have to keep such kind of managers, but not the Contes. If you want a league title immediately, you can get Conte.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Then the affordability. Do we afford Conte? Can we afford Antonio Conte? Because if he's a manager that wants to win straight away, you need the funds, you need the money, you need to back him. Let alone backing because backing Mikel Arteta is so different from backing Antonio Conte. You're gonna give Ben White to Mikel Arteta and Nuno Tavares and Albasam Lekonga, and then your hands up. We backed the manager. So you hang him out to dry. With Antonio Conte, I think the 129 million would be spent on only 2 players, right?
Yeah.
And he needs more. So, is it practical? Can we afford Conte? Do you think? The moment Conte comes in, Arsenal starts to spend.
The truth is, we have Arteta right now because it's cheaper. That is the truth. That is the sad truth. Because it's cheaper and he's okay with the project. He wants to be part of the 5-year project, or the word that Arsenal fans hate, the process. He wants to be part of the process. Conte is not here to have any process. Conte wants, I don't like Leno, I don't like Ramsdale, give me a 50 million goalkeeper from Italy.
Yeah.
I do not like this striker, get me Immobile from Napoli. I don't like not Napoli, sorry, from Lazio. I don't like this one, get me a striker from this team. So he'll be like, I want these players immediately, 50 million, 60 million, 70 million. And I don't think you can afford him, such kind of managers in terms of wages. And if you end up sacking him, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. You know, teams like Chelsea have a lot of money and they're ready to spend. That's why they don't care whether managers are sacked and they're just paying them off. They paid off Hiddink, they paid off Scolari, they paid off Mourinho, paid off Conte, Sarri, all these managers. So for Chelsea, they're ready. So I don't want us to be like Chelsea. That's what people don't get. Our Arsenal's way is not Chelsea's way. Maybe Arsenal's way has not worked that much. We are hoping it does soon. But I don't think you can afford Conte, and I don't think he'd be patient enough, unfortunately. And I'm trying to avoid a manager who's going to come here and leave after 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants something that glitters. I think Conte glitters, but you can't hold on to him. That's my problem. You can't, and that is his problem. You can't hold on to him, and that's it. Please make sure you do smash a like on the video, and of course, you can leave your questions and comments in the comment section. If you want to know anything, if you want to ask anything, it will get answered very, very well. So almost the big match is coming this weekend. How prepared are the Gunners? We can't afford to lose this game again. That's according to David. Glenn, of course, when you say how prepared are we, I don't know what it means, because I mean, it's like, did we buy millions of players? No. Did we buy did we get a Maki signing? No. It's the same. It's the same team. It's the same squad we had against Brentford. Maybe Aubameyang could return. I've seen that trending everywhere. Arsenal could welcome back Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Maybe that's it. But okay, when he says how prepared are we, do you think we are good to go? Just that, because there are no incomings, honestly. Odegaard is not playing, Ramsdale is not making it.
I don't think we're well prepared. And I think they were actually trying to rush Odegaard for him to be in this match. I think they just got late by 1 day. So one thing we can definitely not do is start with the same team we started last week, because we are playing a tougher team. And I don't think Balogun and the likes of Martinelli are scared to Chelsea. Yes, Martinelli always has good games against Chelsea, but if you start the both of them, Chelsea will not be scared. It will be comfortable for them. This is a Chelsea team that kept clean sheets against City, Real Madrid, Atletico. You'll not get a goal. If you start Balogun in front, let me tell you for sure, if you start Balogun and Martinelli up front, you're not going to get a goal against Chelsea. Their defense is way too strong these days. So I think we just needed to change something. Yes, you can start Martinelli, but with different combinations around him. Maybe Saka starts this time. Maybe Smith Rowe starts in a different position this time, and Aubameyang maybe starts up front this time. Just change things around. I think it's almost impossible to beat Chelsea if we don't have one of Saka or Aubameyang starting. I heard you on the other show saying you don't think Aubameyang and Lacazette are like, if they are not there, we can't win. I don't know, man. I feel like when Chelsea see that lineup and there's no Aubameyang and Lacazette, all of their fans will think this is 3 points. This would be 3, which would be a good thing for us if they're thinking they're getting 3 points. Obviously, I think it would be a good way to play different players. But I don't think Arteta has even set up to play different players. So it would be a shock to him. If Aubameyang is ruled out again last minute, he wouldn't know what to do, whether to start Pepe up front or to play Martinelli or to start Balogun again. To be so confusing. Before we know it, we are 3-0 down. Lukaku has scored a hat-trick in his first game. Fans are crying on the pitch or watching TV. So I don't think we are prepared. I still don't think we're prepared. I think we'll only be prepared after the City game, after the first international break. When you have Partey back, when you have Gabriel back. I know we beat Chelsea twice last season, but Partey played in both games. Gabriel played. So those kind of important players were there. So I don't think we are well prepared, unfortunately. So that's why I'm saying, hoping for a draw.
Absolutely. And for me, my problem is I don't think we'll be well prepared throughout the season to meet these big giants. I think we'll be prepared for Newcastle maybe, but again, it's City whole season. I don't think there will come a time when we are prepared unless Mikel Arteta finds a starting 11 and helps it to build its confidence. Apart from that, I don't see Arsenal really shock any big names this season. Cossy, me personally, I don't like Onana because of his weakness, especially playing from the back. Is more poorer than Ban Leno. This is according to Kenneth. Do you buy that? Is that true?
I don't think so. I think he could be better than Leno. Maybe not the improvement he wants. And Ramsdale, by the way, is not good from kicking from the back as well. So I don't know. Maybe he'll end up changing the tactics a bit. Maybe 50% kick it long, 50% play it from the back. I think Onana is better than Leno in terms of playing from the back, I think. So maybe compared to the likes of Alisson and Ederson, definitely not. Because the Neuers, the Edersons, they're way. Ederson could play midfield tomorrow and you wouldn't tell that he's a goalkeeper. Neuer could play as a right wing and you could not tell if he's a goalkeeper. But believe me, if you put Leno at right back, you will know he's a goalkeeper. You will know he's a goalkeeper and he's not a right back. So the kicking is not enough. But for me, I wouldn't have taken Onana. I think the ban alone is too much for me. We already have too many problems at Arsenal. We do not want more players who are having court cases. We've been through a lot as Arsenal fans. I do not want players who are coming, having court cases, 3 months banned, and then January is going to the African Cup of Nations. He'll only play for us for 2 games. Not for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Chris says you had Odegaard last season, but you finished 8th. What difference is he bringing with bringing this season? You're going to be relegated. This one is a Chelsea fan, and you know what? I think. I mean, it's a plain comment. Any ordinary person would make such a comment. If it was a different kind of reasoned maybe comment, I would give it time. But everyone is going to say that. I mean, even a P2 kid would say, he was here last season. You finished 8th. What is he bringing?
He played for 2 months, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not reacting to that. If you want to know how good Odegaard is, then review the West Ham match. That's according to Kenneth, and you had him. You had Glenn talk. Hi, Cossy. I'm Paul, watching from Kenya. Currently in what's that? You're coming from Kenya. Which area is that?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
I says I'm bored with Arsenal interesting in signing players, but they are big lies. I mean, we've signed 5. We've signed 5 players this season, this summer. Probably you must go out find a club and spoil yourself. 5 players have been signed. If you care, if you only care about incomings, 5 players have come in. So I don't know if you wanted like 10. We need more 3 signings. That's according to Dennis. And Paul says I'm happy for the signing of Martin. He's another Ozil. Okay. Magambi says, Cossy and Glenn, give Wenger this current team and see the beauty of football at it out. Period. Someone said if you give this, if you give Arsene Wenger this kind of players, he would win the title with them. And I was like, come on, seriously.
No chance. Let me tell you the first bit.
Do you think Wenger would do better with this bunch?
Oh yes, he would do better, but he has no chance of winning the league. The reason why we needed to get rid of Wenger, whatever you want to call him, he was being left behind. The Guardiolas, the Klopps, these are new managers. Guardiola looks at football and he thinks about chess. He thinks of it like a whole different thinking game. He looks at one player and he thinks, he needs to come to this position. I don't think Wenger had the capabilities of looking at the game like that. Wenger is old school, right? Wenger is, let's get 10 million, let's create a few players, let's play some beautiful football at home, take a couple of draws away from home. I'll be friends with every single player. Even if you play poorly, I'll just motivate you, which is good. But in terms of competing with these new managers, that's why I was okay with getting Emery. I felt like he was going to compete with these new class managers. Of course, at first we didn't want Arteta because I think Arteta is like a step down because Guardiola's and Klopp's have done it. We needed someone in that range, like a Klopp, a Guardiola, an Emery. Actually, those kind of managers who understand the new type of football. Because Wenger was too old school, so he has no chance of finishing even in the top three maybe. And another thing also, do you see Guardiola and Klopp sitting down? Do you see Wenger standing up? Are you seeing the difference? Wenger was too comfortable. Wenger was, I saw Wenger trying to like his coat and his jackets every game. He was comfortable. He was a nice guy. Wenger was a nice guy, of course. If I'd meet him right now, I'd scream because I've met Wenger. But
Yeah.
like in terms of football, the new football, nah.
Okay. Just a couple of more comments. Guardiola spent 923 M in 5 seasons. Wenger did not have that backing. Look. Let's say this. Pep Guardiola spent almost a billion, ever since coming in at City. Almost a billion. That's true. And still he has no Champions League. Arsene Wenger didn't have that kind of backing, and he has won 3 Premier League titles. How many FA Cups did he win? Like 5, because that was his flower.
He was very good at cups. Let me see if I remember: 1998, 2002, 2003, 2005, 2014, and 2015. So he won a lot.
Yeah. So, we 5 FA Cups. No, I didn't think. I don't think he won the the Community Shield, and no, the Carling Cup. He didn't win the Carling Cup, did he? I don't remember Arsenal winning the Carling Cup.
He never won the Carling Cup.
Yeah, but he won the Community Shield. But I think football has changed. That is what people have to know. Football has changed. Investing $1 billion now is normal. Like, I mean, who cares? Investing $1 billion is normal. PSG have signed the most expensive free agent in football, and who is the manager? Mauricio Pochettino, right? So I don't know why people really want to compare Arsene Wenger and Pep Guardiola. Yes, they were managers, almost at the same time somewhere. But if you look at the greatest days of Arsene Wenger and the greatest days of Pep Guardiola, and the quality they had, it's so different. For me, it's not the same. He's been at Bayern and he's had top class players. He's been at City and spent $1 billion. He's been at at Barcelona. He had Messi, he had Xavi, he had Iniesta. Whether they were coming from the academy or they were coming from the window, it doesn't matter. He had the best players in his career. So, and I think he should be winning more. He should be winning more than he's won. Should be getting more more Champions Leagues. Didn't win it at Bayern. Doesn't have it at Manchester City, despite spending $1 billion. So probably, I'm seeing people saying that Aaron Ramsdale has been Ramsdale has been announced as a new goalkeeper.
That is a good signing. I take it. I'm surprised Arsenal have announced 2 players in the same day. Can you imagine? Arsenal can actually announce 2 players in the same day. Can I just answer Raptors gunning one of your members saying, let me read it the way he wrote it. Guardiola spent 923 million in 5 seasons. Wenger did not have that backing. What are you saying? What you're saying is BS. So let me tell you, the thing what I'm trying to tell you is Wenger is a traditional manager. Even if you give Wenger $1 billion, he will not spend that $1 billion. That's why if you hear Arsenal players talking, the likes of Wilshere, Ramsey, Wenger will always give you a second chance, a third chance. Wenger was never a manager to spend money. Even if you give Wenger 500 million, he would not spend all of it. He'd buy maybe one player or two. Guardiola is like, give me 11 players. Wenger can never tell you give 11 players. So you can never compare Guardiola and Wenger. And I'm sorry, if you think Wenger would win the title with these players right now, you're so very wrong. You're so very wrong. Like his managerial ways are too old school for these managers right now. And maybe yes, Arteta maybe is too young for these managers as well. We needed someone to balance it out.
Yeah, I think football and the days have changed. We've got to accept that. Football also evolves at a very fast, pace. I still remember when the likes of Ronaldo were bought at, was it 80 million?
Yeah, 80 million to Real Madrid.
Kaka was once upon a time a record signing at 60, right?
Yeah, Benzema, same transfer window as well.
Exactly. And it feels like yesterday. It just feels like yesterday. But the rate at which football and the Americans are dragging it to evolve through space is very interesting. Liverpool, could have never won their first Premier League title if they had not spent. And look how much they have spent. 75 on a defender. Defenders were usually 30, 25, 10 million to buy a center, to buy a good center half. Gary Cahill, how much was Gary Cahill? 4 million from Bolton?
Very, very cheap players. He was those days, the money in terms of buying players was very, very cheap. So even the likes of Ronaldo being bought for that kind of money, that was totally unheard of.
Exactly. And I still remember comments like, football is getting, football is dying. Football is dying the way we know it. A player for 80 million, things like that. And now players are going for, Lukaku is 100, Grealish is 100, Messi as a free agent is almost 250 million as a free agent. Mbappe is 200. If you want to buy him, if you want to try, I think. If Erling Haaland's release clause is not triggered next summer, it's going to go for around 175 million. So football has changed. I know many of you do love Arsene Wenger, but football has changed. He can manage if you give him the money, but if he comes back and is like, well, I want to groom my own players, take time. It's not going to really work out for him, not really. Thanks for coming on, Glenn. I have to let you go because you have another shot so that you can take some time to rest.
No problem, man. Thank you much for having me again.
Yeah. Please do check out Glenn Kirtley, Everything Arsenal. Like I said, my show with him is going to be on my community. I'm going to post it there, so make sure you do check it out. And always look out for Glenn Kirtley, Everything Arsenal, and subscribe to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. We shall speak to you in the next one.